Yo, what is going on, my people? Welcome back to another video. Now in this video, guys, I'm going to break down my ultimate setup. I'm going to break down my ultimate setup all for you right now, step by step. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you tune in all the way to the end of the video, because I promise you, if you watch this all the way through to the end and you completely understand it, you're going to have a system that you're going to be able to execute daily on a consistent basis to make some really profitable trades. Okay, so let's get right into it, guys. Now, before we get started though, really quickly, make sure to head down the description down below and click the link of my Telegram channel. This is where I set up my setups, where I'll be sending out my trading tips, etc. And I do all of that completely for free. You don't have to pay anything, so make sure you join that right now. Now, the strategy, guys, is very simple, and it's broken down into these 5 points right here. So number one is identifying structure. Okay, identifying structure is extremely important, and if you don't identify structure, then everything else essentially becomes invalid for us. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I identify my structure, and it's actually very simple. Now, then what we look for is making sure that our order block or our point of interest, whatever it is in a premium discount. And now we identify our order block in the premium discount, and we make sure we find 3 confirmations minimum. Now, every single one of you is going to have your own 3 different confirmations. I will give you my 3 confirmations, no problem, but it doesn't really matter as long as you have your own 3 confirmations that you believe actually work. So that's 3 confirmations. After that, where my strategy differs from everyone else's strategy, is after we tap in to my point of interest, I'm dropping down to the 1 minute time frame and I'm waiting for a change of character or a market structure shift. Okay, it's the same thing, just different terms for ICT and SMC people. And then I look for a break and retest, and then optional, which is the extra cherry on top, I guess, order flow. And that's going to give you that belief, and it's going to give you that confidence in your setup. It's going to give you that extra high probability in your setup by understanding the strength of the buyers and sellers within the range to see if price is actually ready to react from your point of interest or not. Sounds confusing, but trust me, it's not. So I'm going to break down an example of a trade that I'm currently in right now, which is a Euro USD buy. So I'm going to break that down for you right now and how I came up with this. So number one is identifying structure. Now, the simplest way I go about this is I don't really bother myself too much right here. I don't really bother myself too much with looking at the 1 hour time frame, 30-minute time frame, and trying to identify structure. I simply look at one time frame, which is the daily candle, and just by looking at the daily itself, I'm able to understand if price is going to go up or down. So by taking a look at Euro USD, I can see that we've went all the way down, tapped into this area right here, which essentially is our discount of this range, and price reacted. Once I seen that reaction and the pullback, this for me, I understand, because I've seen this multiple times, I understand when I drop down to the 4 hour time frame is a simple market structure shift. How? Because you take a look, and to identify market structure shift is so easy. Take a look at the lowest point in the market and mark out the high that formed it. And if you get a break above that, the high, that's a market structure shift. Just like so. Okay, so if you get a break above that, you mark it up. So then what you want to do next is very simple. Now, I already understand that we got that market structure shift. Boom. That's step 1 done. Market structure has been identified, and market structure is very simple. And if you don't understand it yet, I've a lot of videos on my channel explaining market structure. So if you watch all of them, you're going to be a pro at market structure. So that's step 1 done. Step 2 is finding the discount and premium. To do that, it's very simple. Let that high form, which that high is formed now after that bearish candle. You take the fib from the low to the high, just like so. And any level, all the points of interest were essentially 71 and below. This is all discount. Any level below the 50%, which is the equilibrium of that range, preferably the 71 and lower, this is all discount. This is where you expect the buyers to really step in this zone right here. You want my levels on the fib. There you go. Pause the video, copy them. So now what we do is when we find this level, now we're going down to the lower time frame, and we're trying to identify potentially where our points of interest are. And this is simply just an order block, guys. Okay, an order block. Once again, if you don't know what it is, an order block, institutional candle, etc., plenty of videos on that, but at this point I expect most people to know what it is. So you want to go down, you want to mark out your potential order blocks. 1, and then on a 45-minute there's also another one right there. 2, So I've marked out my potential order blocks that price can react from. Just like so. Okay. So essentially what I want to do is I want to wait for price to tap into one of these areas and I want to buy from. Now, one point that I missed out here, unfortunately, okay, that I missed in the trading plan above is inner liquidity. I want to see inner liquidity being swept. You have to understand that inner liquidity is going to be the liquidity that sponsors my move. Okay, inner liquidity sponsors my move. If I don't see that, a lot of time you'll see if price just comes, like if price just goes up, down straight away, this will not hold. This zone will realistically not hold, and if it reacts, it'll react a little bit. If you want a true proper reverse in the opposite direction, you need to see some sort of inner liquidity being built up. Like in order for that setup right here to have worked out, you see this sell from this order block, there was inner liquidity right here, there was lows, there was highs, my apologies, highs. So all of these highs got swept, and then the most extreme point of interest got tapped into, and it worked out beautifully. Whereas if you have a point of interest such as this and there's no inner liquidity whatsoever and price comes so fast too and taps in, this is most likely a point of interest that's not going to work out. So a lot of the time I will look at the most extreme point of interest and avoid anything above, and I see this as inner liquidity. Now I'm not going to completely 100% rule this out because this point of interest sometimes will work, and I'll show you how to validate that in a bit. So I'll wait for price to come, I'll wait for price to step down, and this is my first potential point of interest that we just tapped into. Okay, and I'm gonna go back a little bit lower. This is the first point of interest we just tapped into right here. So what I could do is, as I said, I usually don't take a look at these setups whatsoever, but what I do is I then bring on my order flow footprint, and the order flow footprint is so powerful because the order flow footprint is actually going to tell me if this zone is going to hold or not. And that's the beauty of it. We're not actually trading predictions anymore. We're not trading if, maybe, potentially. We're actually trading it is reacting, the buyers are stepping in, or it isn't. Like the simplest way to look at things is, are the buyers stronger than the sellers, or the sellers stronger than the buyers? And I can do this by looking at my order flow footprint. Now, as I said, I knew pretty much this was not going to work out, and the order flow actually validated that there was no way like this setup was working out right here. But let's bring up the order flow footprint right now to show you what it looks like. So now, before I explain the order flow confirmation, let me just explain the entry trigger real quick, and it's on a 1 minute time frame. Simply very easy. What I look for, guys, is I wait for a simple break and retest. Okay, I wait for a break and retest. So once again, I look at the change of character. You see the change of character, or the MSS, etc. The lowest low and the high that formed that low. Okay, you can say this high, you can go, say this high. It's up to you. Some people will choose this one just for more sureness, I guess. And I will simply just wait for price to retrace to that high once again, and I will enter, and my setup will look something like, the stop loss below the low, and that's the entry, and the take profit is like 3R. So let's take a look now at that happening right here. And as you can see, as we stepped into the point of interest, boom, we tap in. This is a 2 minute time frame, by the way. We see the sellers right here. Like, we take a look at the delta and the min delta. This is the order flow footprint, by the way, and it's showing me the orders as they come in and out the market. It's powerful because it's real-time data. It's not in the past. It's not a lagging indicator. And it shows me all of this information using futures data, because futures data and the Forex is pretty much correlated. Now, we don't look at the Forex data because there's no such thing as just one Forex data. Okay, it's not centralized, whereas futures data is centralized. The data is the same everywhere. So as you can see, as we step down, the sellers are in strength, and this is the delta, and it's going to tell me the net difference between the buyers and the sellers, essentially just the strength of the sellers and the buyers. And as you can see, as we go down the delta, the sellers are very, very strong, where the buyers are pretty much non-existent. Like, compare minus 212 to 10, minus 63 to 4, minus 107 to 30. And as we tap in, we do start seeing some, buying stepping in. 109, minus 62, 144, 204. So the buyers here are a little bit strong, but the candle is not matching that. So one thing that you learn, and for anyone that wants to learn about order flow in depth, what you want to do right now is head to the link in my description and watch the free order flow beginners course. I teach you order flow completely for free on YouTube. So honestly, if you're not learning about this right now, you're absolutely missing your chance, because this is extremely, extremely powerful. So you can go ahead and watch that. I'm not going to be able to explain everything in one video. I'm just going to give you a quick, brief explanation here. So what you want to see, if you see a strong delta, essentially you want to see a strong candle. If you don't see that, then essentially there's like an anomaly. Price is being absorbed right here. So even though there's strong delta and the candle is not strong, like the effort has to match the result. You know, the effort has to match the result. If there's an extremely fast car going at 100 kilometers an hour, well, you expect a huge crash. But it doesn't make sense that if there's a 100-kilometer car going very, very fast and then when it hits something, it barely moves the thing. Clearly something's wrong here. Okay, which is exactly what this explains. Maybe not the best analogy, but you get the idea. Either way, the sellers once again step in and the buyers fade. Like, they only step in for 3 candles and then they start fading, and now there's 0, 0, 50, etc. So the sellers continue down. They continue down. You can see the sellers minus 188, minus 221. They continue down. Now what happens is we continue down lower now to our second point of interest. And that's right here. We wait for price to come back down lower, lower, lower. It's taking a sweet time. It's taking a sweet time. Throughout this whole area, right, there was actually no clear sign of the buyers stepping in. This was all just actually liquidity, getting people on the wrong side of the market. A lot of SMC traders, even SMC traders and ICT traders, are getting caught in this move right here. Why? Because they did not wait for that liquidity sweep first. Now as we go down, we tap in, and now boom, we tap in. This is my high that formed the lowest low. I wait for a breakage structure above this. Okay, I wait for a breakage structure above that. My entry is going to be right the breakage structure and my stop loss below the low. Just like so. And boom, we got that break above, and now it retests. So this is my entry, guys. As we retest, I enter. The entry might be a little bit here, probably with spread. This is probably going to be around here. Okay, so that is my entry right there. So what do I do next? So now I want to pull up my order flow footprint and to see this time, are the buyers actually way stronger than the sellers or not? Like, did the buyers step in? Because this is what happens. Like, when we tap into an area of supply or demand, you want to see pending contracts being triggered. Okay, and the buyers stepping in. A lot of people are waiting for price at this level. So you want to see the surge of buyers, like buyer interest, actually be there at that discount level. And that's exactly what the order flow is going to confirm for me. So as we tap in and as we come down, the sellers, you know, are essentially just a tiny bit stronger than the buyers, but the buyers are still present. So you can see early sign of buyers, which is good. If you want to buy, you don't want the buyers to just completely be zero. You want to see them a little bit there, like a little bit present. But as we tap in, now look at this shift. 170, 194, 0 sellers. As we go, we're printing a few more candles. Look at this, 516, 530. This delta is like 3 to 4 times larger than most of the deltas before, like even 10 times larger than some of the deltas before we tap into the point of interest. So this is a clear sign that the buyers have now stepped in strong, and the next candle is very strong. And as you can see, as we continue to increase, the candles are very, very strong. This is what you want to see, a shift. The shift from the negative deltas to the positive deltas. Few other confirmations right here, such as it's very, very strong buying imbalances right here, showing aggressive buyers within the candle. This is marked out by the blue numbers right here. Few exhaustions right here with the red rectangles, etc. So that would have been my entry trigger. After I see that, that's enough confirmation for me to get into my setup, and I would have entered. Boom. And you know, you let price do its thing. It's taking a sweet time. But as we go along, guys, this trade is currently active for me right now, and I'm up 4% on this trade. So it's a beautiful trade, and it's as simple as that, guys. Go ahead right now, and I want you to watch this video all the way from the start again and write down this in your notes and backtest this. Now, guys, really quickly, for anyone that doesn't know already, we are currently helping people get them funded using our robot. So you can get funded today, and we pass you actually in under 72 hours. And if we fail your challenge, you're getting your money back. On the service fee, you're getting a brand new challenge bought by us. In fact, I'll even give you an extra $200 just for wasting your time. We've passed hundreds and hundreds of people, guys, and you know, this is a brilliant way to I guess to fast track your funding. So if you want to get funded right now, go ahead, link in the description, and you know, message us, join this channel. You can message us right now on @TraderOfficial2 on Telegram. Message us and we'll get you sorted with the absolute cheapest price in the whole industry. Okay, so yeah, guys, with that being said, I appreciate every single one of you for watching all the way through to the end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe as well, helps the YouTube channel. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next lesson. Bye bye.